goes. Hope you guys enjoy. Leave your thoughts below. I'll catch you guys at the end. All right, so it looks like the British have a considerable force of troops here in the center. Their cavalry deployed in the rear ranks, their artillery sort of between them and us. What we are going to try and do is deploy our troops here along this wood line so that they have to come at us. Now, my main concern is this little wood line jutting out here to our left flank, because that could allow them to approach with cover. So we'll have to see. We'll have to refuse our lines somewhere. But that will, I don't know. Let's take a look. So, alright, that's the left flank. The enemy's over here. Are some of these mortars again? The AI seems to love mortars for whatever reason. Oh, it looks like they're all field guns. Alright, so... these guys have to deploy there. They can't move. I suppose what we could do... oh my god. These deployment boxes are going to get some of these boys killed. Fortunately, my men are sitting. They're like they weren't. They entered this battle after a good long rest, waiting on the coast, so they are not tired. I think we need to merge these guys to increase their firepower again, as the way I usually do it. I mean, the enemy's got more men than us. We're not going to be flanking them. They've got more units than us. So again, I think it's best to merge these boys. Maybe what we do is after the fight... can I merge these two? No, because they're in different deployment boxes. Maybe what we do is after the fight we bring another division or brigade of Benedict Arnold's boys south from Falmouth. I don't know. We're going to lose a lot of men, that's for sure. I wish I could zoom out. I wish I had a higher... like, this is not an easy view to deploy from. Okay. So enemies over here. Open ground... bulk of our troops are back here. It looked better on the strategic map. The wood line looked better on the strategic map. Let's do this. Let's deploy these guys on the flank of the artillery. I don't really know what to do with this situation. Again, the cover is there to be used, but our flank is also going to be in the air if I deploy these troops on the left anywhere over that way. So I think maybe what we do is we try and pull these troops back into this heavier wood line. Maybe we form up here. I don't know. These deployment boxes are very frustrating. Where? Like, I don't know. This is not going to go well. Alright, let's do this. My optimism is rapidly declining. No, I'm not going to retreat. Okay, we're going to form these boys up here. Ah! Alright, we'll form these guys up like that. I'm not going to have these guys deploy way off to the left. We'll try and create kind of a semicircular position with lots of reserves that can just plug in. I like the idea of a battery of artillery here. A sort of a grand battery on our flank. With reserves behind them. And we'll just try and stack up multiple units deep. Make them come at us. Get our units as concentrated and sort of whatever as we can. I don't love that we're in a rainstorm. I would think it would be better if the weather was less shitty, but... It's going to make visibility more difficult. It's going to make units sort of show up out of nowhere more frequently, I suppose. These guys are already exhausted. You guys had the whole frickin' week to just rest. You marched like 200 yards in bad weather. Come now. Here they come. Yay, we inflicted more on them than they on us. Now run! Alright. Problem is also with this weather, I may not see them until they're in those, if they come on my left flank, until they're like in our lines. Is that cavalry charging me? Because... that was a nice first volley on those cavalry there. Oh, they're going at my guns. That's bad. Oh, that's real bad. Oh, there's so many horsemen. Ah! Well, we broke one of their companies of cavalry. Guys, can you shift your fire and can you just turn? Is there anything left of these troops over here? Fire can't... oh, God. Oh, there it goes. Jesus Christ. Artillery shattered. Infantry's routing. Holy hell. Well, we're being rolled up on because the cavalry just came in and nuked everything in front of it. Also, why are they moving so... they look... that looks... they're moving cartoonishly fast. I suppose the only saving grace here is that several of the enemy cavalry companies have been so utterly shattered they will not be fighting again in another battle. Okay. Well, that was silly. All of our artillery is pretty much gone. Can any of these guys man these batteries? The guns should still be usable. Then we got one battery left of artillery. I suppose the saving grace is the enemy cavalry is pretty much gone. Are these units too large to man those artillery batteries? But I don't understand why they can't. Usually you can have infantry man batteries of artillery. It's a lot of dead horsemen. I guess that's the only saving grace. Keep the canister going. Holy hell, look at all of that. I mean, I knew cavalry was a problem because in our previous battles it was a problem, but I guess I never had that many batteries of artillery lined up in the open. Alright, so we got troops trying to go up around our flank. We do have two batteries over there on the left. Hey, they just shattered that flank company. Alright, so I think they've got two companies of cavalry left. They do die real fast when you get a nice volley on them. Would have been nice if you fired your volley at those bastards before they closed. Hey, we captured some of them. Yay! Alright, we gotta do what we can to keep these boys in the open while our boys are in the wood line. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a chance, like... maybe, I don't know. I suppose the only saving grace is so far the enemy artillery has not really been a factor because they've been maneuvering into position while we've been fighting. Right, so, but it looks like they got 2 more companies. If I had an ammo wagon, I'd feel better about my ability to keep fighting. Not really General Graves, right? It's Admiral Graves. See if we can put a unit in this little outcropping here to flank the enemy maybe as they come up. Hey, they can man this artillery. They'll never get there before they die, but... Alright, we lost that officer. They're continuing to come right up against us. God damn it. Artillery's firing canister into my own boys. Well, left flank's about to go. Mostly due to fucking skirmishers. We did capture an enemy unit. Yeah, we might murder the captives. We will see. It almost feels like they've expended their energy on the right, and now the left is where their chance is. But they're holding me in place in the center, which is the problem. But all my artillery is gone. Shift or fire to this cavalry here in the open. Okay, so they attacked on the right, drove me back easily with all that cavalry. Now they're attacking on the left with skirmishers and rough terrain, again to great success. Alright, some other enemy unit here on the right surrendered. I thought it said there were a lot of Hessians coming in, but I don't see any of the funky little helmets. Guys, you gotta go. You gotta charge them. The only way to drive these assholes back. Dead. I'm killing prisoners today. This is the fucking problem, is I can't see shit in here. Don't tell them that, but I'm killing prisoners today. These goddamn sharpshooters are gonna be the death of me. Hey Gibson, the British landed 5,000 troops near Boston and I'm trying to stop them with 4,000. They had 600 or 400, 500 cavalry amongst them and they absolutely nuked my troops on the flank. Dead. You're getting artillery in behind me? The only upside, yeah, is that we basically wiped out their cavalry in this invasion, or most of it. Much of it, anyway. Maybe not most of it. Hey, we got boys in the artillery now. Routed an enemy company there. Did these batteries didn't get to... Did they spike the guns? Is there a spiking mechanic, maybe? I'm trying to figure out why those other batteries are gone. Could the cavalry have ridden in and spiked them? Is that a thing that can happen in the game? Can you guys knock that artillery battery out before it starts ripping you up? No, don't go closer. Just try and... Nice. Okay, they abandoned their guns before they even... Hell yeah, brother. Now maybe we can knock out... If we get a nice volley on that... Where are they getting flanked from? Who is flanking them? Oh, bastards. Dead. LOL! They were going to try and liberate their boys there, and I just murdered them all before they could. Did we shatter them? I hope we shattered that company. They just disappeared, so I'm thinking... No, we didn't. I was hoping I could... Can I disband some of these guys and get them... Yes! Take their guns. Are they out of ammo? Or is it... I don't know. I'm confused there. Left flank is still a major problem. Looks like there's a lot of troops there, and then all these sort of specialist troops just chewing through our men over here. POWs die. That's the rule here. Why are these cavalry unwilling to engage now? I'm kind of confused on that. Can we push them off the map? Those guys are retreating. Their green jackets are going to be the death of me. Like, that is the difference in the battle right now. They broke my left with their light infantry. And they are breaking it still, and they're threatening my rear with their light infantry. Oh, that was cool. These guys were retreating, and as they were retreating, they got shot, and you saw their flag fall. That was nifty. Uh-oh. I think my boys got run over by... Maybe they didn't quite get run over by artillery or cavalry. Alright, we drove that battery at least off. Nice. Looks like this company of infantry charged us and got driven back and then shattered, thank God. I've been shot. Nice. These guys surrendered. The enemy is around. Oh, they're gonna... They routed us off those guns. Hey. Volley fire. You guys should be able to do that. You've reloaded. Shoot them. There you go. Another enemy cavalry destroyed. Drive me insane. I think the enemy maybe has one more company of cavalry of their 6 that were deployed that haven't been defeated yet. I guess the problem with this particular fight is that... Oh, they're on my flank! Another unengaged skirmisher unit. For fuck's sake. Actually, this might be a scenario where it makes sense to split my divisions up so I can more effectively fight them. They retook those guns. Guys are stuck between. Get him. Get this company of sharpshooters. Rout the bastards. There's another 100 over here. Dear God, how many light troops do they have? They're still in those woods firing into my flank. I'd say maybe the enemy will retreat before being totally Pyrrhicked. I know that's not a word. But they won't because they have nowhere to retreat to. Another company of light infantry. How many goddamn light infantry companies do they have? Any chance they're fatigued, then I can charge them. Alright, some of these enemy companies are retreating. Looks like the only stuff up here that isn't is artillery, of which they still have a lot. I think another enemy cavalry unit just shattered. Got a light unit shattered there. They're picking apart my regular infantry, though. That's part of the problem here. Alright, we're pushing those 2 companies of infantry back. We're trying to approach these remaining light infantry here, but there's a lot of them there. My troops pushed this battery off its guns, and they can occupy them. I mean, maybe we hold a chance if we can come at him from front and rear. Maybe that'll break him. Coming on those guns. They're retreating! Oh my god! This is an episode of Sharp, you stand no chance. Take that back! Go take those guns. Pursue. Alright, I guess we'll let the existing POWs survive. Charge! They had so many specialist infantry in this particular fight, too. I was gonna say, I hope those are my guns I hear firing. Admiral Graves, bad day for you, sir. I don't think the king will be happy. Granted, it's a bit of a... I don't know that I'd say this is a Pyrrhic victory in the sense that, you know, it may save Boston, which is certainly not... It's certainly worth whatever that cost is. What I will say is that it may be Pyrrhic in the attempt to take what's left of the British in the map area. Right? Like... We had a large force with the hope of attacking Fort Frank, etc. I don't think that attack will go through anytime soon. And then the invasion of New York will come soon, too. So... we have to try and knock these guys out, though, because if we have to fight them again, they don't have any artillery, we'll fare much better. You know, than the no artillery that we now have, because they wiped all of our artillery out with their cavalry. So what I'm really seeing here is this is just a grind set, right? Like, don't give up, and you will never lose. Also, divisions seem less likely to retreat off the map. That helps. Run after them, boys. We will bail them out in the world wars anyway. Yeah, I guess. But, so it'll be interesting to see what they do, because they are caught up against the shore, right? They landed amphibiously without any particular location to base their invasion on. They didn't go for Boston, pointedly. They went adjacent to Boston. They'll swim back to England. Well, we already killed Gage, or destroyed him, if not outright killing him. I will say, though, this battle certainly showed the value of having cavalry. Alright, I think we're just pursuing these two artillery units. Alright, shattered the one. I don't know why they just stop like that. I think a fair number of our units still survived the battle. We've got a lot of units still on the map. Come on, boys. This is silly. Just finish him off already. I might retreat off the map before we catch him. I don't know if we got Gage or not. I don't know if he retreated off the map. I lost track of where he was. Or not Gage. Graves. Gage I know we already got. The Grand Battery in the north and center. Their Grand Battery, yeah. I mean, it might have had an effect, but our troops were all in the woods, which helped, and they didn't bring it up close to canister range, so... Of course, my Grand Battery on the right flank had very little effect either, because all it did was get all my artillery killed when they charged in with 400 horsemen, so there was that. Alright, let's... Okay, so here's what happened. We had 4,400 troops. We lost just shy of half of them, 2,100. We lost 12 of our 18 guns. They had 4,700 troops, or infantry, 480 cavalry. They lost 3,258 infantry, so well more than half. They have about 1,500 surviving. And they lost 371 of their 480 cavalry. So that meant about 100 of their 480 cavalry survived. All of that being said, they also had 526 POWs, which bumps those numbers a bit more. Should give us a healthy advantage, right? So if this is 5,200 total, they lost 435, 36, 4,100 of their 5,200, and we've got 2,000 men left. So that is... We should have a healthy numerical advantage on the strategic map of what's left. Granted, again, we're more militia heavy than they are. They have no militia in this force. So we'll have to see. I'm just hoping they all surrender. Like, usually if you pursue and they have nowhere to retreat, they... Oh, Graves did survive. But let's see what they do. I don't know what they're going to do. They're just going to surrender. At least most of them. Okay. Now that is a Saratoga-like historical Saratoga-type victory. Oh my god, you guys. Where are we still shooting at? Oh, it's Graves himself. He's getting pushed off the map. He's literally getting shoved into the ocean. Get him in the water! Get him in the water! Alright, I don't know if he got totally destroyed or what's he... He just faded off into nothingness there, so... Get into Salem. We need reinforcements. Like, we need to replace our losses as best we can. What a glorious, deadly morning for America. Indeed. Alright, these boys... I don't even know what we can realistically bring up as reserves. New York is gonna happen soon. Which isn't great. So actually, we have 1,000 surviving regulars. That is better than I thought. Means we lost about 800, I think. So the militia must have taken a lot more of the losses. Also, you know, the artillery. Some of those had quite a few companies wiped out in that brigade. Alright. They want 20 horses. That's a lot of horses. But I'd rather keep tensions low. Alright, so... That all being said and all just happening, what's the situation? So there's 3,800 men. So they've got about 5,000 troops between George and Frank. Oops. Don't do that. Okay, that should have given us a huge amount of prestige. I'm just saying, we wiped out an entire British army and landing force. That would be one of the biggest victories in the entire war. I guess we did get 16 reputation from that. Okay, that was... Never mind. That was a pretty considerable tally there. Gonna need more specialists to replace these losses. Alright. So New York will be happening soon. Oh, where did all those POWs go, by the way? They all go to Boston, maybe? No. Salem has 900 POWs working for it. 900 laborers, huh? I don't need more building materials. I got that. Probably going to take a pretty big hit of loyalty in a few places due to the casualties, I would guess. Okay. One thing we can do. Some of these really shot up units, if you guys aren't a... Oh, shoot. All right, I think what we'll do for some of these under-strength units, they're not... Yeah, let's just disband this entire brigade or regiment. They should go into replenishing there. We'll disband this one too. It's just a more efficient use of officers to get them out of units that they can't really use. Obviously, regular units, I don't think that's true, because regular units we still need, and we can't recruit more right now. But I'd rather those recruits go to filling out existing units and getting them up to strength. So like this regiment, these 600 men under Shrem, already back up to full strength. So we might be able to make a drive on George right away, actually. We'll have 3,400 or 4,400, about 5,000 men. We would bring the regulars up from Boston. We'd have a considerable advantage there. Okay. These guys are exhausted, so they are not moving well. Does the game let you force loyalists out? You want a new house? Sort of. Like, it gives you events that will trigger, that will ask you how you want to treat loyalists. Right, so 2 full brigades of 4 regiments each. Another regiment coming up there. They'll probably pull those troops somewhere else after today, right? Undermining Patriot morale. We lose 500 deserters in Boston? Those are all regulars. Fuck! What kind of event is that? Yeah, I'm not sending the regulars into business now. You know, I guess what we could do. Let's do this. Oh, shoot. Not what I want to do. Alright, can we... So if I disband these, will they join Boston's reserve pool? If I just do the company? No? Okay, well that's dumb then. Not going to do that for more. Alright. I'm still curious if the troops of Georgia are going to move south on Falmouth, or if that naval invasion was sort of the threat that we had to overcome. I'm not sure the answer of that. Meanwhile, Horatio Butcher, George Washington, is going to go back to Boston. We'll let Benedict Arnold do his thing on his own toward Fort George. Alright, so I got 5,200 troops, plus 500 men that could come in from Lyman. We'll wait till George is taken to do that, maybe for the drive on Frank. Alright. They are very quickly drawing reinforcements. Boston generates a lot of recruits. All right, so we have we can do a new thing for the Chief of the Navy. They've just done fleet planning. Go ahead and do privateer charters, I guess. Or we could do another officer recruitment. I could always use more officers. But we did just disband a few regiments, so we probably have a few to spare. Our reorganization, we're 2 days away from getting von Steuben and more specialists per week. And that will let us move toward the regular infantry that we so badly need. So we're 2 days away, 3 days away. Let's save those days. I assume at this point every day is worth its weight in gold for the eventual assault on Boston. They want to give me 1,000 gold for 200 prisoners. No. I can come up with 1,000 gold a number of other ways. They're staying in the stockade. All right, meanwhile, work on Fusilier companies. We'll do dragoons after we get that, but I need the ability to raise regular infantry. So here's a question. Fusilier company, but not regiment? New regiment and company. Okay, there you go. All right, so that'll be 65 days. That won't happen before Boston or before New York, but in 45 days, we can use our reputation to accelerate that by 20 days. So we can get that in 45 days. Still won't happen, but can we get some Dodge Challengers? That was such a great commercial. Oh my goodness. The George Washington Dodge Challenger commercial. Brilliant. All right. So I think we're just about ready to move 5,400 boys against Fort George. Artillery, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 batteries, 6 batteries. Did I unlock better guns? Yes, you're right. I forgot about that. We've got 3,000 of these things in stockpile, so let's start producing those Virginia 1776s. Can I rename them? What's this button do? I don't understand what this does. It just expands the thing. I wish I was hoping I could rename the thing. Butcher's Implement or something. I don't know. All right, so we're going to make the Virginia 76, which is it a good weapon? 1060, 10.7. So it's a slightly better, was this accuracy or impact than the United States musket. Slightly better melee, I think. That's probably the Brown Bess, right? Like in terms of its 1060, 10. So the Brown Bess is slightly better still. Okay. Also, we can raise a third army now. Von Steuben can command it, but I think he's probably better used somewhere else. Where's the Horatio Gates dude? There he is. Let's do this. Can we change his commander? Do I have to break just the one unit up? All right, Gates, you don't need to command this regiment. You're being promoted. I don't know to what purpose, but well, that guy's not great. This guy's not great. This guy's okay. All right. All right, so Gates can now command a third army. I don't know what we're going to do with that third army, but... Oh, Steuben can too, but Steuben's not really, in my mind, a field commander. So where is Gates now? He's in Portsmouth. So we're going to take Gates, and as much as it is probably unwise, we're going to send him to... Fort Rice really should have a garrison. But I think we're going to send Gates to the New York defense. I'm going to keep recruiting these militia. So you go to Fort Rice. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Ultimate General American Revolution. I hope you guys enjoyed that huge bloodbath. It almost feels like these battles, when they get bigger, are just kind of a test of wills, where if you refuse to retreat, eventually things will get close and you'll have a good chance of winning. But I don't know, the cavalry just ran us down. Somehow we hung on and we won a huge victory, wiping out a British army. I'll take the result. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave your thoughts down below. And without further ado, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, we're out.